Hello, everyone, and welcome to an additional week of my 8-week series. Yes, I made the decision about 5 days ago that I'm pushing back the launch actually about 10 days because I was just feeling a little bit too rushed. There were some surprises. I shared a couple with you last week. And as an indie author, you have full authority on when you're going to publish. So I've made that decision. I'll share more details later in the episode. As promised, we're going to jump in today with BISAC codes and Amazon categories. Two totally different things. Let's take a look. BISAC means Book Industry Standards and Communication Codes. BISAC codes allow the publishing industry to understand what type of book you have and where to shelve it. Think of it like the old Dewey Decimal System in a library. Wholesalers are using BISAC codes. They also use it at different times of the year. Maybe let's use the summer as an example, where maybe they want to carry more fiction and children's activity books, so they can immediately see how many they have in stock. So we'll jump into BISAC here, and I will take you through a very quick demo. These are all the different major categories you can choose from, all the way from antiques and collectibles, right on through to law, young adult nonfiction. Now, I've already done the research with my representative, and we've chosen our 3 BISAC codes, and I'll just take you through one. So family and relationships here is a pretty important one with Jackson and his mother and father. So that is definitely the top category. We're not going to just choose family and relationships. We're drilling down to the lowest subcategory possible. So one of the ones that we've chosen after consultation is conflict resolution right here. Now, what this means is if someone does a search of conflict resolution, my book will show up. If someone does a search of family and relationships, my book will show up. Okay? So drill down to the lowest subcategory you possibly can. Now, let's jump over to Amazon categories, and they are much more specific than BISAC codes are. Amazon has, remember, the hugest online shopping store for books in the world. And that inventory is so large that people can't easily find things. You need to help your future customers find your book. And we're going to go deep into Amazon, not only because we're going to help customers find our book, but we want to be as competitive as possible. And there's some research that needs to happen as we're choosing our categories. So here we are. I'm in Amazon. I'm going to jump over to bestsellers just to show you an example. And here are all of your list of books. Let me blow that up a little bit bigger on the screen. Now, once we tap on books, we're going to be looking at the category strings. You know a little bit about a Jackson, so is there a category here that you can see it most definitely jumps out into? I've selected, after doing my research, parenting and relationships. Now, once again, we're going down to the lowest niche possible. Under parenting and relationships, we now have all of these different ones. I have chosen family relationships. I'm giving you one example. And here we go again. Under family relationships, there's a couple of things that fit here. Dysfunctional families, parent and adult child is the one I'm going to show you now. So I have gone, just as I did in BISAC codes, although this is much more specific, down to the smallest niche. I've chosen books, parenting and family relationships, and now parent and adult child. Now, I mentioned the research that I did to you. If you take a look at the bestsellers in your niche category all the way up through the other categories up to parenting and relationships, you can see what the bestsellers are. And this is where you should spend as much time as possible doing your research. So I've looked at number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 6 is the book that is most similar to what I'm offering. I'm not giving a how-to book. It's based on real life stories, a compilation of real life stories that have created these characters. So in this book, The Mercy Orphan, I'm going to go down to the book description, the product details, okay? This is where you're going to see. This book is ranked number 2 in parent and adult child relationships, number 2 in sibling relations, and also number 2 in parenting teenagers. But guess what? What does that tell me? That tells me that this category and this category also fit my book. I might be thinking about using those categories. She's a bestseller. She's up there at the top, and it's working for her. Now, the next thing you want to look at is the book description. There are many, many authors that make recommendations on how to write a book description, but if you have some key things in it, it's going to be more powerful for you. Now, remember, when you write the book description, you're trying to grab the attention of people who are doing searches. So you want to describe your book in simple and straightforward language. Don't use lingo, for example. You want to keep your description between 150 and 200 words long. So you give them enough information to understand what your book is about, but why should they read it? Needs to be part of your description. You want to use paragraphs, you want to use bold, you want to use italics, elements that are going to grab their attention, just as this author has. So I've done that research with one book, but I've also looked at several others over the last 6 weeks or so as the top sellers are changing. Now here's the kicker. When you upload your book, Amazon will let you choose 2 categories, but you can actually ask for up to 5 more, and that's through an email to Amazon. Now, I caution you, do not put your book in categories where it doesn't fit. You're not serving yourself well, and you're certainly not serving your customers well. So pick those categories, and I mean category strings, that fit your book. And if you think more than 2 fit and you've done your research, send your email to Amazon. It'll take a few days, but it will happen. Now, I've jumped over to Amazon bestsellers for audiobooks. So Jackson is going to show up in audiobooks as well, because that will be completed in October. I'm going to choose relationship, parenting, and personal development. And then I'm going to choose in parents and parenting and family. Again, I'm going down to the lowest niche. I could choose motherhood, parents of adult children. We'll choose motherhood right now. And again, I'm going to do the same type of research for my audiobook. And this is what I feel very good about, very comfortable about postponing. The launch date is now October 22nd. And the night of October 21st at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're inviting you to join our public launch party on Zoom. Let's take a look at what it looks like on my website. I shared with you that we were going to set up a registration portal, and here it is. Here's the page, and there's a brand new trailer, which is, let's just say, it rocks. It rocks. I don't take any credit for it. Francis Yap out of Toronto built this trailer for me through consultation. It's incredible. But up at the top of the page, on the right-hand side, you'll see the place where you can click and you can register for our online Zoom part. We're going to hold it to 45 minutes. People's time is valuable. Come in your jammies, bring a drink, bring a snack. We'll have lots of giveaways. All the information is here. And we're actually challenging people to participate so that we can set a Guinness World Book record. I hope you can join us. Now, I'm a little nervous, but also very excited, because in about 1 hour's time, it's the first podcast interview for Jackson. It's with DC Gomez, and she's the host of Inside the Minds of Authors. Now, the worst thing we can do is think we're going to go into an interview and wing it. I'm prepared. I've listened to many of DC's interviews. I know what to expect. I know I'll read a portion of the book. I know the types of questions she will ask me. And I also know that she's very free-flowing and down to earth, and we're going to have some fun with it. So looking forward to sharing more with you about that next week. And we're going to do a deep dive into good reads and all of the possibilities that I didn't know about the first time around. I hope to see you next Friday, where we will be actually just over 4 weeks before the new launch date of October 22nd. Have a great week, everyone. See you then.